Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is GBall, and I have a knife here to unbox for you, coming in from Olitans. This is a new release for them, and it looks like we have some new packaging. Now, if you've never stopped by here before, welcome to GBall Vision. Let me know down in the comments what your EDC is looking like today. So this packaging is actually pretty cool. You have some goodies down in your box, microfiber cloth and a COA card, and then for the first time we have a Olitans pouch, Velcro pouch, and inside is going to be our new knife. This is called the Avis or the GO79, and these are going to retail for just under 50 bucks. I think across the board there's like 5 or 6 versions coming in a couple of different handle materials at 49 bucks. We are going to be looking at their 14C28N, which they do a really good job with it. We have seen a lot of testing done, and they are routinely hitting the 14C at like a 60, 61, and that is really good for all of us. A nice drop point blade, dual thumb studs for the deployment. Sharpening choil looks to be on point. And for the handle material, we're going to be looking at brown G10 on this particular version with a matching quarter back spacer. Their standard deep carry clip, which actually works really well. It is going to be left-hand friendly, making this completely ambidextrous, and it has a very clean aesthetic to it. I do wish they would have done a recess clip and put a filler tab there, which Olitans often does, but I think in order to keep the price down for a new release like this and keep it under 50, there's certain things that they will not be able to do, and I think that's one of them, but I think that's going to work well. Olitans does a great job with their crossbar locks, nice strong springs. I have not had any issues with faulty springs or lockup, no issues from Olitans, period. In my opinion, they are a sleeper knife company, a hidden gem in the knife world, if you will. They have really made a name for themselves over the last couple of years. They started off with replaceable scalpel type blade folding knives and replaceable utility blade folding knives, and now they are putting out some superb pocket knives down in the $50 range all the way up to the $300 range at this point. And while I'm thinking about it, let's get a look at the size. This is going to come in with a 6 5/8 total length. Give it 2 7/8 of cutting edge and just under 3 inches of total blade, 2.99. For some size comparisons, we have the Spyderco Para 3 up top and the Paramilitary 2 on the bottom. And the Avis is going to be even smaller than something like the Para 3. And just to give you a little taste of what Olitans is capable of and what they are doing, we have a couple of their recent releases. Just some spectacular stuff and putting a little bit of spice on folding knives. They have all kinds of awesome, more affordable budget knives, whatever you want to call them, more affordable knives, but they also have an awesome catalog of semi-premium knives, knives that are between like 150 and 200. For instance, the Gecko and the Imperial Penguin here. This has titanium liners, titanium backspacer, contoured carbon fiber handles. We have a 5-layer copper Damascus blade, looks outstanding. Like here again, the crossbar lock is phenomenal. The Imperial Penguin, one of my favorite designs from Olitans. Then the Gecko here, this is sporting SLD Magic, carbon fiber, titanium liners, backspacer, and pocket clip. And this knife feels like it is floating on glass when you open and close it. They just do some really good stuff there at Olitans. Have our 50 ways baked in GBall Vision Hank here and get a look at this pocket clip. I have a lot of experience with Olitans clips and they work really well. Now typically, as I said earlier, they are usually recessed. Now this one is going to be surface mounted, which isn't a huge issue, especially when we're talking about a $50 knife. It should go in and out of most pants pockets pretty easily. You will have a little bit there poking out, maybe just under a 1/4 inch, but not much at all. and it is going to be left-hand friendly, making this knife completely ambidextrous. And sadly for the lanyard people out there, or the lanyard person, you aren't going to have any love on this particular design. We are going to get out the arch nemesis here and give the Avis a weight check. I like to play a little game here on the channel with these new knives that come in. I attempt to guess the weight, and I always invite you to play along. You can put your guess down in the comments. Ounces or grams, whichever you prefer. I go with ounces myself. And if you're enjoying this video, you like knives and gear, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. That way you never miss another video. I'm going to give it a go here, and I'm going to say that this is coming in right there at like a 3-ounce knife. We do have just shy of 3 inches of total blade, steel liners with a little bit of internal milling, G10. I'm going to say right there, it's right there at 3. That's what I'm going to lock in. Lock me in. You put your guess down in the comments. Don't be cheating. I'm going 3 ounces. Here we go. Oh, spot. It's early. 2.6 ounces for those of you driving, so 0.4 off. Not too bad, not too great either. 74 grams. I've had plenty worse guesses. 2.6 ounces. Not going to barely register in your pocket. Grab the calipers out here and get a couple of measurements on our handle and blade. Calipers give us a good idea on handle thickness. This one is going to come in at 0.53, 13.5 millimeters. Roll over here to the blade stock thickness, which is the thickest part of the blade. And we're coming in at 2.9 millimeters and a 115 thousandths. That's the blade stock thickest part of the blade. And we'll roll over here and go to the BTE, which is a behind the edge measurement. And that'll tell us how thin directly behind the edge is going to be. We typically see 22 to 24 thousandths. This one is going to come in right there at 20 thousandths, so fairly thin behind the edge. Let's see how this cuts out of the box. Typically use catalog paper, phone book paper, but for the time being, I am currently out of both of those. We'll have to settle for some standard notebook paper here. As I said earlier, 14C 28N blade steel, which is a great steel at this price point, in my opinion, of course. And Olitans has proven they are going to give it a proper heat treatment, and they are routinely hitting like 60, 61 HRC. Even 59 is going to be just fine for 14C. I do like to see it right there at the 60, you know, right around in that ballpark. And that's where Olitans is hitting it. And if you're not familiar with 14C, it is one of the toughest blade steels that you can get your hands on. It's also one of the most corrosion resistant steels that you can get your hands on. And that is saying something for a blade steel you can often find around 50 bucks, even up past 100, depending on the handle material, of course. That will obviously put a little upcharge in things, but to be able to get a micarta or G10 handle with 14C under 50 bucks, and it's going to be done properly, that's a good deal. And the great thing is about this particular knife, the Avis, is it's going to have a definite under 3-inch blade. It's coming in at like 2.98, maybe even a little bit less than that. So it's under 3, and this is going to be allowable in a lot of places across the United States. There are some places where you can't have over 3-inch. I think there's some places 2.5 is the maximum. So there's a lot of bullcrap laws out there people have to deal with, and they should be eradicated, in my opinion. But for now, that is what some people have to deal with. Whether you follow those laws or not, that is entirely up to you. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not telling you what to do. It is your life, and you get to make the decisions throughout the day. And if you want to carry a knife in a place, you know, that doesn't allow 3+ inch blades and you're going to carry it, well, you know, I'll pat you on the back for that. I can say that I didn't always follow Pennsylvania's knife laws either. But over the last 2 years, I think it's been, they have basically rescinded most of the knife laws here dealing with autos and things of that nature. They do, however, in Pennsylvania need to implement a constitutional carry. That is, you know, another opinion of mine. But moving on here, this has a really nice edge on it, and you're going to get good performance out of this. The edge retention is all right in 14C, especially when it's done properly. The great thing is, though, it's very easy to maintain 14C 28N blade steel when it's done properly. Very easy to strop this up. Hell, you could even find a crickstone or a river stone that's rounded just right and even use that to kind of hone this up. If you're out in the field and you have nothing else, you could get a shaving edge back on 14C. Even if you're a novice, you have no idea what you're doing, you know, I think you would still be able to keep the edge sharpened up. For the one wine bag out there who, you know, says we only have ever cut paper through the entire channel's history, we have some paracord here just to see how this blade fares with the paracord. Standard 550 cord. Seems like it's going to do pretty good to me. Let's just run it along the edge. Oh man, look at that. I'm just kind of pulling it back and forth, and it's shredding that paracord. So I think safe to say that is going to do pretty well right out of the box for you. Excellent stuff from Olitans. The next thing we have to check out is the hardware. We have a non-tooled pivot with a pivot collar. It looks really good. They have the Olitans down here, really small. Don't mind that whatsoever. As long as we don't have anything out here on the main part of the blade, I'm okay with it. Does look like we're going to be T6 though on the body, and I think we're going to be T6 on the pocket clip screws, T8 for the pivot. I would like to see T8s all the way around, especially with a new release. If you have good bits and a good driver, in most cases, you're going to be just fine, especially if the company is using good hardware. But nonetheless, I would like to see T8s. They are just, it's just a better screw, a stronger screw, and even T8 isn't the best, in my opinion. That's kind of like the least I would want to see, but we often get T6. It is kind of what it is. It's not the end of the world. It's not necessarily a deal breaker. It's just one of those nice to have things. Now we'll go ahead and run this guy through a couple of checks. Centering is going to be spot on. This doesn't have a detent in it, so there's not going to be any detent lash. The crossbar lock is strong though and done really well. At this point, I trust Olitans to do a solid lock no matter what it is. Their liner locks, their frame locks, crossbar locks, they're doing a really good job. I have tested every single model pretty much that they have put out, and I had a failure of any lock of any kind from them. So that is a testament to really good QC. The placement of the studs is done well. They're going to be easy to get to on both sides, lefty or righty. And the access to the crossbar lock is done well. You have a little bit of protrusion, but not too much to the point where it's going to get in the way of deploying it. And it's not recessed too far to the point where it's a pain in the ass to get to. So I think this is a good balance of everything. Let's go ahead, and the last thing we have to do here is introduce the new Avis to our spine whacker, and that lockup feels very good. That is actually one of the better feeling crossbar locks that I've handled in quite a while. I mean, that feels locked up like it's a freaking fixed blade or something. I'm really wrenching on it. Yeah, that feels very good. We're going to start off with a light tap here just to get us going. We are not doing this to see if you can hammer a nail into a tree with the spine of your blade or build your house. We're just doing this to make sure if there's an accident that happens, the lock isn't just going to fail on you instantaneously. That is why we do this test here, just to hold the company's feet to the fire and make sure we're at least getting some knives that have a very good lockup. I think we're going to be in very good shape with this guy here. And that is all very good news. Good job from Olitans. We'll close this and check this bad boy out. Make sure everything is running as it should. Still perfectly centered up there. And I believe they have made it so the crossbar locks are adjustable. Don't hold me to that. I'll pop it up on the screen. I think some of their knives do have an adjustable crossbar lock, and then maybe others don't. Kind of hard to look in there and see at this current time, but I think they are adjustable on some, and then others they are not. Turning out to be a nice little budget knife here, fifth pocket type knife for me personally. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. What do you think of the Avis here, and do you own any Olitans knives? Let me know down in the comments. I will have a link and discount code over to Olitans' website down in the description and in the pinned comment. All the knives I showed you in the comparison are available in some form or fashion if one of those looked interesting to you. And the Avis has 5 different versions, at least on the initial release, that are available. Do me a solid, hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to make sure you never miss another video again, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. I'll pop up a couple of new videos you haven't seen yet. Go check out the one here on your right-hand side. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.